This is Monty, once again from DPL Surveillance Equipment. Today seems like a very nice day out here in Southern California. I'm wiping down my car, reviewing a few things going on in the market. Looks like Donald Trump's approval rating is, if I understood it correctly, it's like the worst since Truman, the worst of any president since Truman. Look like all these loyal Trump followers and different people don't have that much faith or confidence in this guy for some reason. Anyway, I think you get what you pay for. So whoever put that idiot in office really needs to be they need to be proud of it, and they should be. That's what you get anyway. When you put an idiot in office. You get idiotic behavior. So let that be a lesson to those types of people. Moving right along, it's too bad, before I forget, it's too bad Donald Trump is not going to McCain's funeral. I think that sends a clear message to a lot of people in terms of how this guy measures up to some of the other people who understand and realize and appreciate McCain's contribution to this country. Only a moron would disrespect a person who sacrificed so much. Now, this particular session, let's see, what we're going to talk about in this session. Oh yeah, before I get into that, let me introduce myself. You're probably wondering who is this guy going on and on and on about how brilliant Donald Trump is and everything else. My name is Monty Henry, owner of DPL Surveillance Equipment. We're a full-service surveillance and security equipment company. We have lifetime guarantees and warranties on all of the products. We have 24/7, 365 tech sales and customer support. We have the largest inventory of items that not only can you buy, but you can rent and lay away as well. 24/7, 365 tech sales and customer support. I think I said that already. Very huge articles directory, podcast directory, demonstration video directory, blog directory, just a full-on multimedia center that's very, very comprehensive. It has all sorts of interesting educational information for free. So I'll repeat that again, it's for free. You don't have to pay anything. For those of you who like getting things for free, I understand a lot of millennials don't believe in paying for anything. So they can have a free education on me if they like. What else? Oh yeah, we have verified that the Bitcoin integration into our shopping cart is actually working perfectly. 1 second, please. As I mentioned before, we live near a small airport, and every once in a while you're going to get a helicopter, you're going to get a small light airplane or something like that. Anyway, we verified that the Bitcoin integration into the shopping cart actually works perfectly. Me and my wife did a test order last night just to make sure we understand from our perspective what's taking place, and it works perfectly. So yeah, you Bitcoin millionaires and your Ethereum and Litecoin and Bcash millionaires out there, don't hesitate to come to our site. We're one of the few companies online that actually is actively promoting Bitcoin, and we're going to be exclusively promoting Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies above everything else. We don't want to have anything to do with the MasterCards and the Visas and the American Expresses and all those vampire rent-seeking entities or companies out there. That includes you merchant processors and you banks and intermediaries who extract so much value from the pockets of us hardworking retailers. And that's like $70 billion a year minimum that you guys take out of our pockets, and you offer us very little value for it. You intercede or interfere with our transactions. You override and circumvent our terms and conditions on our websites. We're the ones that do the marketing. We're the ones that do the advertising. We're the ones that bring in the customers. And you guys just extract a lot of financial resources from us without returning, again, much in the way of actual value. So we're going to be stepping away from that. Definitely heading in that direction, and that's the way it's going to be from this point on. This actually is going to provide a solution for today's topic as soon as I get to it. And as far as Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, it's going to definitely provide a solution to the problem that we're going to talk about. And let's see what else. We got the shopping cart integration. Oh yeah, the website redesigned. I think it's working very well. There's always going to be areas of improvement, which we're going to remedy as soon as possible. But definitely looking very good. And we encourage you guys to use your mobile phones, use your iPads, use your whatever smart device you like using when you go shopping. Test it out and see for yourself whether or not everything's working properly. Lots of new products. Even the formerly rented items are now for sale as used. So you can have state-of-the-art surveillance and security equipment at reduced prices. For those of you who like to save money, get the used products at a discount. You get a limited warranty, but definitely you get to save some money, which is the most important thing. What else? Let's see. I'll let you guys discover on the website anything else that I forgot. Now today's topic. Let's get right into today's topic because I think it's timely in that we're offering cryptocurrencies. As we're offering you the opportunity to use your cryptocurrencies as a way alternative payment method, and which is timely because there's a big problem in the retail industry. The retail industry is losing $90 billion a year due to returned merchandise. So again, let me see. 1 second, please. $90 billion is going out of the door every year because customers are abusing the return policies of most companies. And this is very unfair. And I've been speaking out on this, and I am adamant about making sure that we retailers and merchants fight back, because a lot of customers simply are not being honest, and a lot of them are intent on committing fraud. There's no bones about it. When you look at the nature of a lot of these transactions, where people go buy a product, 10 pair of shoes, 5 dresses, 9 pair of pants, and they wear them to the parties and the dances and the different dinners and whatever, and then they return them claiming that there was a problem with the product or something, when in actuality these people have a habit of doing the same things over and over, jumping from retailer to retailer. So that's abuse, and that needs to stop. And thank goodness we have certain companies like Arturo, the Retail Equation, and a few others that are stepping up, and they're saying, look, we have a solution for you guys. So let's get into the specifics and see if we can understand how that solution works and how you guys might be able to take advantage of it so that you don't have to worry. And before I forget, our solution is Bitcoin, because Bitcoin and the ability for us to accept Ethereum and Litecoin and Bcash For us, this is the solution, by the way. I'll just give you a little spoiler here. Spoiler alert. When you use cryptocurrencies, it's like cash. That transaction is like cash. You can't reverse it. And if you buy an item and return it, you can't run to a credit card company. You can't run to your bank. You can't run to a merchant processor or anybody else and have them undo that transaction unilaterally. There is no way. It's impossible. When you use Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, this is for you merchants and retailers. When you use Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, it's like a cash transaction. You can't reverse it. That money stays in your account. And if the customer wants to discuss with you a problem with the product, then that's what they have to do. They have to call you and discuss with you what the problem is, and then you guys can resolve it. So that's the way it was in the old days, and that's the way it's going to be for a lot of us merchants and retailers who use Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies going forward. So anyway, that's a spoiler alert. But let's take a look at some of the other solutions out there, particularly with Arturo and this new company, Narvar, Narvar. Okay, investment will back development of e-commerce software as retailers look to improve consumer online experience. Retail technology provider Narvar, Narvar, has raised $30 million in new funding to back what the company says will be aggressive expansion of a business that supports e-commerce platforms for companies like Costco Wholesale, Gap Incorporated, and Levi Strauss. Let's see. The new funding round, led by venture capital firm Excel with Battery Ventures, Salesforce Ventures, and Scale Venture Partners, brings the company's total raise to $64 million since the business launched in Silicon Valley in 2012. Navarre said the funding will support refining of its technology, which is helping retailers manage deliveries and returns for online orders, and then expansion into Europe and Asia. The company says its technology supports 500 retailers, helping their online sales platforms offer services similar to those at Amazon Incorporated. Narvar Chief Executive Amit Sharma said it handles all aspects of post-purchase consumer engagement and messaging, and that demand for its technology has increased, particularly on the return side, as digital commerce has grown. Now, I have to throw in there that what Amazon is doing has been very good for customer returns. The process is very simple and straightforward, and a lot of customers have used that as the bar, per se, when it comes to returning items. Everyone likes Amazon's policy. But let me throw in a caveat. Even Amazon is getting tired of these crooks and criminals and these customers that are abusing their credit card privileges. So I wouldn't use Amazon as an example of a company with the most ideal return policy, because they are going to be looking at using companies like the Retail Equation and maybe even Arturo to identify abusive return customers who are doing returns. Okay, so things are going to change very quickly, and all of these people who are ordering all sorts of things that they don't necessarily want or need or can't afford, and they think Amazon is going to be the way out for them in terms of allowing them to continue this bad habit. I think they're going to be disappointed. So anyway, moving right along. As consumers shop more and more online, let me make sure I'm in the right place here. Yeah, as consumers shop more and more online, free returns is part and parcel of their expectations, Mr. Sharma said, both for consumer experience and operational efficiencies. this part of the business needs to be able to be solved pretty quickly. The growth of Narvar and other e-commerce tracking and returns technologies highlights how deliveries and reverse logistics have become more important to retailers' customer service strategy. Surveys have found customers are more likely to shop again at an online retailer after initial purchase if it's easy for them to track shipments and return purchases. Now, I have to throw in also that tracking shipments is a no-brainer. Okay, there have been and there are solutions out there that allow you to track shipments. Okay, even an amateur website developer can integrate into your shopping cart solutions to help you track shipments. UPS, FedEx, Post Office, and those guys can actually help you if you need to, as far as getting access to the plugins and whatnot to allow you to track shipments. Okay, so that's not an issue. What is an issue is, again, returns. Okay, so don't let Narvar or whoever wrote this article deceive you in terms of what all is going on here. This is all about merchandise returns and how they can sell that product and extract a lot of money from you, merchants and retailers, because you're under the impression that this is more complicated than what it seems to be. It's not. Customers are taking advantage. Merchants and retailers are doing everything they can to be responsible and to offer good customer service and everything. But customers, again, are the problem. Right now, the customers are just taking advantage. Okay, so according to a Forrester research report, U.S. internet sales are expected to reach almost $540 billion this year and grow 11% annually over the next 5 years to account for 1/5 of all retail sales by 2023. Dale Rogers, a logistics and supply chain professor at Arizona State University, said Narvar software improves the online shopping experience while providing retailers with better information about their customers. For example, Narvar software could catch shoppers who return items frequently, highlighting potentially fraudulent behavior. Mr. Rogers says, well, see, this really addresses the crux of the issue. The crux of the issue is basically, how do you identify frequent return customers? Customers, rather, who frequently return merchandise. How do you identify them? How do you flag those accounts and make sure that you ban or bar or prohibit these guys, these customers, put them on a probationary period or something because they're abusing the return merchandise policies of the stores? I wrote an article a couple of months ago and published it on my website, I'm pretty sure. I'll link information to this article from that one that talks about what's, all the specifics in terms of what's going on with return merchandise in the retail industry, and how the retail equation was putting together a database that actually flags and ultimately bans these customers. And a lot of customers were really getting upset because they got caught with doing their shenanigans. In other words, a lot of customers were so used to getting away with this that when they went to Best Buy, when they went to Victoria's Secret, when they went to Amazon, when they went to certain companies, they found out that they couldn't purchase anything there once they were identified because they were in the database for returning too many items too frequently, whether it was high-ticket items or maybe even just low-ticket items that were returned too many times by these customers. So anyway, a lot of customers were getting upset, and again, because they found out that they were included in this database for frequent return abusers. Let's see, moving right along. It's clever, he said. You can really track what your customers are doing. Software startups aiming to solve common logistics problems have drawn millions of dollars of venture capital funding as e-commerce has ballooned. According to industry tracker PitchBook Data Incorporated, logistics startups drew $404 million in new funding last year, more than twice the previous peak of $185 million in 2015. Customer expectations have fundamentally changed, driven in no part by Amazon. Charlie Cole, Chief Digital Officer for Tumi. Several third-party software and logistics companies are targeting the costly returns process. Optoro Incorporated, spelled OPTORO Incorporated, recently raised $75 million to expand its development and sales and services known as reverse logistics. Optoro estimates the annual U.S. market for customer returns is $380 billion and growing. Now this is crazy. $380 billion is what what Optoro is estimating. Okay, $380 billion and growing. This is the annual market for customer returns. Now, mind you that the total amount of internet sales is just over 500 billion. Okay, so if $380 billion of that $500 billion of online sales, for instance, is coming back, then a lot of those sales are no good in the first place, right? So you can't have a very large percentage of your overall sales, online or offline for that matter, come back in any industry and still expect that industry to be healthy. So unfortunately, this means to me that a lot of businesses are going to go out of business. If you assume that most of your sales are good sales and that they're wrapped up and concluded and handled well and won't come back to bite you, you're wrong. According to these figures, $380 billion is going to definitely look like that's going to be the number going forward as far as what's going to come back. Okay, and this is an estimate, so a lot of you retailers, you're going to be unpleasantly surprised as a result of your hard work. Charlie Cole, Chief Digital Officer for luggage brand Tumi, our Narvar customer, said shipment tracking and better communication after an online sales can help inspire confidence in the brand. Now, I have to disagree with Charlie Cole, mainly because, see, a lot of companies are doing everything that they're supposed to be doing to make sure that those sales are good and that they don't come back. But unfortunately, when you have dishonest customers, I don't care how established your brand is or what you've done, you can have 200 years of experience in a market, like JCPenney, like whatever companies. But if customers don't want to be honest, and if they want to take advantage, your reputation, your brand, and all that, it doesn't matter. The motivations of the customers is what's making the difference. The customers are just taking advantage. So don't let these guys sell you into thinking that the problem is you're not communicating your brand good enough. The problem is the credit card issuers and the banks and the merchant processors are just making it too easy for abuse. That's the problem, which nobody's talking about except for me and a few others. Moving right along. Customer expectations have fundamentally changed, driven up part by Amazon. Mr. Cole said brands have to do anything they can to, at the very least, level the playing field for after-sales service. Again, don't let these guys fool you. The problem is people taking advantage, returning too much merchandise, ordering things online, offline, that they don't really want, need, or understand. Or maybe somebody's going to go on a vacation and they want to take a camera with them, a new camera, take all the pictures that they want while they're on vacation, and then return that camera back, for instance, when they get back Or maybe someone wants to host a Super Bowl party. They don't have a big screen TV, or at least not the big one that they want. So they go out and they get a big screen TV just for the weekend or something. Entertain their guests and friends and impress everyone with their new big screen TV, only to return it the following Monday or whenever the next business day is. Okay? That is what's going on here. And again, once we start flagging these accounts, like the retail equation is doing for Victoria's Secret and Best Buy and a lot of those companies that it works with, the retail equation is based in Irvine, California. Just in case you merchants or retailers want to contact them to see if you can take advantage of the way they handle this problem, you can do that and save yourself some time and money and frustration. But yeah, what we need to do is just understand that in this economic environment, particularly when people really don't have the financial wherewithal to be responsible with their money, that's what they do. They pretend like they have money. They abuse the credit cards, make these temporary purchases, only to unwind them as soon as possible. So, let's make sure we understand what's going on. This is not a great mystery. It's just abuse. And for those of you who want to go like we did in my business, who want to use cryptocurrencies, for instance, you don't have to go all in, but you could offer cryptocurrencies as an alternate form of payment. Let that area of your business grow. And when it gets to the point where it can be 30, 40, 50%, 70% of your transactions, at least you'll know that 30, that 40, 50% of those transactions are not going to come back to haunt you once that Bitcoin or that Litecoin or that Ethereum goes into your account. Nobody's going to take it out of there. Okay, it's impossible. If you want to reverse it, if you want to give a refund or something, then that's up to you. But no MasterCard, no Visa, no American Express, or anybody else is going to take that money from you, long as you're using the cryptocurrencies. And it's very easy to get that plug in to do the installation in your shopping cart. Use Coinbase Commerce or use BitPay. We like Coinbase Commerce right now for our solution. So if I were you, I would jump on it and stop feeding into this system where we have to continue losing $90 billion a year because of merchandise returns. See, that merchandise ends up going into the flea market arena and going into online auctions, liquidation, sales, all of that. So it's just a waste of time and money. And then you fall prey or victim to these companies that talk about reverse logistics, that talk about improved customer service and all of that, when in actuality the payment mechanism would, for the most part, dictate whether or not a customer is going to be able to return something or not. If someone pays you cash, for instance, and they think they're going to automatically compel some third-party company like a credit card issuer or a bank to undo that transaction, they're wrong, okay? So anyway, I'm going to wrap up this session. I'm going to include a video playlist with it that talks a lot about customers who got surprised when they found out that their accounts were banned because of credit card abuse, especially for shoppers who shop with like Best Buy, Victoria's Secret, and a number of others. And the accounts were flagged and they were banned and put on probation or just banned altogether. So anyway, as we like to say at the conclusion of every podcast, keep your eyes and ears open and stay safe out there. Take care. Bye.